Hello everybody, welcome to the Fragments. This is a Dungeons and Dragons 5e campaign that I'm playing with my friends, and these are my friends. We've got nice fancy borders and it worked last week, and yeah, they all looked really quite splendid. I'm gonna have a play around again probably this week and make like stuff look a bit better, but I don't really know.
Do that again, I'm gonna bite your arm.
Yeah. So where do we leave our lovely adventurers? So last week they had snuck around a creepy old mansion, hearing all sorts of critters and strange things, and came across a group of people that were part bird, who were part of an organization called the Scarlet Sash. And you didn't murder them. You befriended them, in fact, and helped them destroy a vile artifact, a statue of Orcus, which was truly evil. And yet the only person to be able to destroy it was Charles Irwin, your unassuming, plump cleric that potters around with you.
I figured out how.
Yes, and Killian, with your wizardry, you figured out how to do it. So radiant damage destroyed the thing, despite Jax growing to the size of basically 2 houses and hitting it. He still could not destroy the statue of Orcus, which is quite a funny just image of like a little Killian going, hit it. After destroying that,
it's just a vision of the sort of the hammer holes in the floor.
Yeah.
A big crater where you've been banging it, and there's this thing.
Yeah. And after destroying this, there was something strange happening with mist in the graveyard and around the house, and it swept round to the grave that Serial had seen previously in cat form, and it was dug, and it was empty. And the were-ravens of the Scarlet Sash informed you that it was a portal to the Shadowfell. And that was pretty much where you left it, deciding not to travel to the Shadowfell, not to venture into the depths of the hold on, I'm just going to change something. Hold on, I'm not sure which source that's using for the microphone.
We're hearing you nice and clear.
Okay, you're hearing me clear, but I don't think OBS is hearing me clear, which is a pain.
Hey, when you work off your sofa, it's a lot better than when you work off the TV. When you work off the table and the TV, it was like one of you worse than the other.
No, I think what it was all to do with the different levels that this is trying to look at. This is looking at now. Definitely my microphone now, which it wasn't before. I think I'd had it on the new laptop microphone, which isn't so great. So sorry. You made your pact and decided not to follow, and the person you think you were possibly had to follow through the grave, if you'd chosen to, was the Prince Regent. However, you filled in the grave, left, heading back to Southgate to wait upon his return. Was your plan. Now, what would you like to do?
Building is a
Fragments party. Well, Guam, tell us.
Well, Jax would like to regularly sort of take out as many trays of copious amounts of food as possible effectively he's going to set up a sort of a food bank out front of the thingy. He has sorted out some weaponry while we were messing around, and he would like to find Guardman Carleth to see if he can find out some more info on Mordenthal and the king and the going missing thing, and if he knows anyone out there that's worth talking to.
Would you like to remind everyone who Carleth
So
was.
Carleth is the guard that beat the snot out of me in the arena. But he was the guard who was in Mordenthal. He was part of the royal guards in Mordenthal when the king went missing.
That's exactly right. That's who he is, Carleth.
So yes, I figured he would be a good choice for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know that the guards change often. You hadn't quite established where Carleth stays, if he stays in the village or if he the kind of outside of the city in the outer bit, or he stays in the barracks. You had not established if he had a family or anything like that. So you'd be waiting around for Carleth to sort of just show up on shift. What's so
Well, I mean, I would have asked a couple of the other guys because there's a couple of guys that we'd met and like had their black eyes and things. So
yeah,
I would probably ask them to see if they can point me in the right direction.
Cool. Would you like to make a persuasion with advantage to sort of kind of find out where these guys are? Your advantage is because you're in with those guys.
I've been buying them beers.
You've been buying them beers, been
You keep
smacked
getting drunk.
by
Having a
them.
good time.
Well, in typical Unjax fashion, I rolled a 15 and a 17. So, like, perception is. Oh, sorry, persuasion.
Persuasion, please. Yeah.
So, I rolled a 15 and a 17, so 16.
Okay. So, yeah, they quite freely tell you that Carleth is going to be on shift. When you've walked back from the mansion that you were staying at, the Brandifax mansion, come into town and gone to go and sort of rest up as evening was drawing in at that point. The next morning you emerge and you walk to the guards on gate. It's not Carleth on there, but after a small conversation you realise that Carleth will be doing the shift this evening, and they kind of let you know that the fighting isn't on this evening. There's no underground fighting going on, and you've walked out with your customary tray of buns and things, and you are then obviously greeted by the wave of.
Oh, I kind of figure I'm going to do that 3 times a day with like sort of all of the meals.
This is dawn time. Sort of.
I'll take out breakfast and it'll be continental breakfast coming out, and then like lunchtime it'll be sort of sandwiches, and then it'll be sort of the roast whatever's in the evening.
Fine. So what is Kills doing at this point? So you've returned to the twin towers of Southgate. It's not those twin towers. No, it's not. Someone hijacks a dragon.
Yeah.
Lost already.
I am going to be. So is Jackson walking around with this massive tray?
Jackson is kind of every morning, like he's left the breakfast hall after you've breakfast, strolled out with whatever you have not scavenged back off the tray, and if
I know it's for the people,
yeah, you would have seen.
I will be nice.
You've already seen him smothered in children and buns.
Yeah, because I started providing eclairs.
Yeah, that's it.
And there was children.
Yeah.
I'm literally just going to walk behind Jackson.
Oh, okay.
He comes out with this amazing breakfast tray
with
a tray of sweet pastries.
Okay, so you're basically like waiting. You have become butlers to the poor.
Yeah, only because if you want to know anything, ask the kids.
Okay.
They hear and see everything.
Okay.
Even when you don't want them to.
So what are you asking? What would you like to sort of bribe them with buns for?
I just want to know if there's anywhere where I could, if they know of anywhere where we are, where I could possibly get a wand made for my sister.
So you want to...
Or a staff, or is there anywhere that will be able to make me some form of vessel for my very dangerous if you lick it pink crystal.
So you'd need to decide which you wanted made. So you need to go to somewhere that would be a smithy, would be somewhere that would make something that would hold it, that would be a wand or something like that, possibly, that would be made of metal. If you wanted a wooden staff, it would be some sort of...
Why are wands made of metal?
Well, it depends. If you're going to have it in a metal clasp at the end, like to hold it, that piece would be artificed from metal. Or if you wanted to druid craft something round it, something twisting of wood. Depends how you want it look, what material you want to
mount it onto a thingy and like get a gem crafter to sharpen it and have it like sort of an onyx tip spear and have a spear out of it.
Now the idea.
Ooh.
What if I had like a quarterstaff with it kind of wrapped like vines in wood, but with the end of it sticking out and quite sharp, so I could just
like
poke
this,
people with
like
it,
the gem sitting out of some wrapped.
Yeah.
Things.
So it's like that's the gem, and the vines are kind of wrapping around it like this, but then the crystal is like sharpened to a point.
The crystals are quite sharp as they are.
Oh, awesome then. But yeah, so I want kind of like a quarterstaff, or how big is the crystal, did you say?
They're kind of like this.
So yeah, if it's about that size, we're saying like what, a quarterstaff, do you reckon?
Quarterstaff.
Do you think that's about right?
Yeah.
Probably find one of those ones. Yeah.
A quarterstaff.
It's going to be quite big, but quite large.
Like that, but with a twirly thing on it.
Yeah, like that, but with a twirly thing on it, holding it.
Yeah.
Literally, I want that, but with a twirly, viney thing.
Sure.
I don't think he's going to give you that.
But you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that I'm after.
Yeah.
I want to be able to use it as a weapon, and I want it to look nice.
They know of the people.
And be a
as you chat to them, they know of the people that Jax has been to visit to get the custom leather armor built for Charlie.
Okay, and do they?
It's not something that they would know, but they think they would know.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of, as the kids are talking, I kind of provide them with more and more like eclairs and like I was going to call it a snail because that's what Ali calls it.
Pastries,
like sweet pastry.
Well,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, it's the, what is it, Ali?
The raisin one.
The raisin one.
Panel raisin.
Yeah, Ali calls them snails. So that's where my brain went then. I was like, the snails.
Yeah.
But yeah, sweet buns and pastry. So after they've had this gorgeous breakfast that Jackson's supplying, I'm then filling them with
topping
sugar.
them up with sugar. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So they.
Killian's the mad uncle. Jackson's like the sensible one. I'm the mad one. I'm like sugar.
And you can just hand the children over and run away.
So at the moment, your crystal is still. Is it on the end of the jaws of the rot tentacle?
No, I wrapped it, didn't I?
You wrapped it.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Because I tore a bit of Charlie's cloak. He wasn't very happy about it, but I tore the hem off of Charlie's cloak and wrapped it in it, like mummified the crystal, so I could carry it safely.
But you could still feel that extreme cold.
Yeah, the coldness coming from it was intense.
So you get pointed in the direction of the man, the character who was an orc, who greeted Jax and said, well, we can do this kind of stuff. And he is someone who is like a maker of things, and explains to you that that is something that is outside his finesse. But he knows of an orc over in on Frohast who might be able to help.
So I've got to go travelling again before I can get this done.
Yeah, there is an orc there called Durg.
Durg.
Yeah, there's an orc there called Durg, who lives in Kanzax, who has a
Okay, and where is it we've just come from?
You've just come from
the land. We're in Southgate. We're going to Mordenthal and Kanzax on the other continent over the bridge.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of en route.
Okay.
Sorry, it was called Durg.
Yeah, Durg.
Durg.
D-U-R-G.
Durg. Durg.
And he has a forge and a sort of business that works out of Kanzax.
Okay, cool. So He's just like, thanks, and then offers him a sweet pastry.
He takes it heartedly. He just, oh, jolly good of you. Thanks. Kind of puts it in. He's kind of chewing and tapping with one hammer, nodding it.
Jax is walking around with this giant platter thing sort of tucked under his.
Serial Gladrinel, tell me what you would like to do. Where are you doing?
But I'm not going to go and feed pastries to the people. I'm going to go back to the library. They've all had enough pastries and breakfast for now. They don't need me doing it as well. I'm going to go back to the library, and I want to find out more about the Shadowfell. So I'm going to look in the library and see if I can find any books on the Shadowfell. I can find out more information about, and I want to also research portals, because I want to understand the portal system a bit more, and about, you know, if when you go through a portal in one dimension, whether it's always in the same place or whether they move around in the Shadowfell, because I understand it's a bit like what was it? The Pixie Land we went in before.
Oh, the Feywilds.
Feywild, that's it. It's a bit like the Feywild, but nasty.
Yeah. You are finishing your breakfast and you go to move off. And as you start proceeding to where you know the library to be within the towers, which is over in the other part of this is kind of residential. Yeah. All the crazy experiments and everything was going on in the far tower. The
Prince's Court of it.
Yeah, which has got the observatory, the crazy weird viewing room, and below the library. You go to cross the bridge and you see on the bridge Thulf. He is staring towards the town of Southgate and looking at the gate of Southgate that leads to the two towers, and he's there wringing his hands, just staring, and he hasn't noticed you at all.
I go up to him. I lightly put my hand on his shoulder.
Jumps out of his skin, literally. He doesn't even. He's like he holds his heart, and he's like, oh, yes.
Hello.
Fair elf. Fair giddy elf. Yes. What can I do for you this fine morn? Where's isn't it? Chilly.
You look a little preoccupied. I wondered whether you were okay.
Fine. You know, just taking in the morning air.
Yeah, you look like something might be on your mind. Can I help at all?
No, I'm fine. You are more than welcome to insight this bullshit to find out if in character he's bullshitting.
Yeah. Can I insight it, and if that doesn't work, persuade him?
Of course you may.
I love that. You are more than welcome to insight this bullshit.
20.
20. You know that this is absolutely rubbish. There is something definitely on this fellow's mind.
I think you would definitely feel better if you told me what was on your mind.
Well, on my mind, no, what concerns me is only what's on your mind. What can I do for you today?
I'm going to try and persuade him to stop changing the subject and tell me what the fuck's going on.
Okay, you're gonna have to RP that and then do a roll. So yeah, go for it. Tell me like how you're going to persuade him to stop.
Now, I'm not going to feel comfortable trying to find out more about many things until I find out why you are so preoccupied. You seem to be worried. I'm wondering whether is it something to do with the prince? We haven't seen him for some time, and I wondered whether his disappearance might be the thing that's worrying you slightly.
He says, disappearance? No, just away for a few days, as he does. You know, now you can roll that persuasion if you want.
I got 21.
He goes, although there was a look in his eyes, a look I haven't seen in a long time.
And what look was that?
You know, there's when someone has discovered something that is so engaging, so wondrous to them that their entire spirit seems lifted.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that, but with a sense of mania.
You think it may have made him a bit reckless, maybe?
Reckless, perhaps he has been again.
Again? What happened before?
He kind of looks away, turns back to looking at the sea.
I put my hand on his shoulder and I say, we can't help unless we know exactly what we're up against, can we?
I don't know what you're up against, what we're up against. You've seen that library. You've seen the things he reads. Why such a good boy would be so interested in such things? Always looking to the other places to run, places to hide, places to dwell and plan, and then I don't know, he was like it since he was a boy.
You think he's maybe gone off somewhere that could be dangerous?
He's always on the verge of danger, that one. And always impetuous. And being his aide all these years has not been easy.
I can imagine. You must have to be so patient with him.
I should think that I am very well versed in patience, yes. There's actually a little smile at this.
So, what happened last time?
Well, there was that look in his eyes, the same as the other morning. He was much younger then. We weren't here. We were in the capital. His father provided him everything, you know. Gave him everything a boy could ask for. Always asked for the same things.
What was that?
Well, there was always books. And for his father to show him the Shardful. His father would lavish him with books, but he wouldn't take someone, even when he became a man, he wouldn't take him to the Shardfall. Wouldn't take him near.
He must have been scared that he could get into harm.
Yes.
You think
His
that might be
father
where he's gone
appeared.
now?
Sorry, say again.
You think that might be where he's gone now? Think he might have found a way of getting there on his own?
Wouldn't go. He would have had to cross the bridge. I watched him leave. He didn't head that way. He headed to the town. He headed north.
What if he found another way?
Possibly. If he has, then I worry for that boy. And I have failed in my duties.
I'm sure you haven't.
Failed in my duties to him and to the king.
I think you're protecting the castle and being its guardian in his absence and providing him with as much advice and guidance. But he's a man now, and maybe he's gone in search of the king. Maybe he's gone in search of that elusive place that he always wanted to go as a child. Now he's found a way of going there as a man.
He may have done so. I do not know. We should wait for him another day or two at most before we worry. He can be on these excursions for a while, coming back with another strange tome, another strange book, and excitement, but not like that look that he had.
Well, if I may, I will look through his books, through his library, and see if I can find a journal or some notes that might provide us with some more information. If not, there must be books or novels on Shardfell, which might provide me with a bit more insight myself into helping him and the king.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he says, the library is all yours, please. Help yourself.
So I rest my hand on his shoulder and say, it will be all right. And sort of give him a nod, and then I head across the bridge towards the library.
You start walking across the bridge and you shout out, Lady Serial.
Hello?
Thank you for your counsel this morning.
You're very welcome. Anytime.
And he goes back to staring out at Southgate.
Mm-hmm. And I go to the library.
Okay. Charlie has left before you guys. Charlie's left before breakfast, and he's gone through the streets before the various stalls and everything has opened. Mm-hmm. And he's found that one place that the doors aren't barred to him at any time. He's found a small church that is dedicated to the Wild Mother, Melora, his goddess that he has had faith in and has followed for many, many years. Even when he was not here, not on this plane. He finds his way in to the abandoned chapel and sits at a pew and begins to pray. And he prays for the safe return of the king. Quietly, in silence, head bowed, and hood down over his shoulder. And he stays there in this silent meditative prayer for about 2 or 3 hours, just reciting various script and various mantras that he's learnt over the years of being a cleric. And when he's done, he finds a single candle and uses the newly gifted tinderbox that Jax gave him, a sign of friendship and camaraderie, and lights a candle in the church and looks at the tinderbox, pats it, puts it back in his pack, and leaves the church to find his newfound clergy. So, as you're handing out pastries and things like that, your kind of supply comes to an end, and you see wandering back, smiling slightly, as much as a beak can smile, is Charles Elwin. Killian and Jackson, you see this rather portly.
All right. How's it going?
Very well. Yes, they have a lovely little chapel here. Most quaint, most nothing fancy, but a place of great peace. I made my peace with my God.
Okay. Well, we've been finding out stuff. I can't talk to the guy I need to talk to till tonight when he's on shift.
Okay.
But
Oh yes, thank you, Killian. I haven't eaten breakfast. I was up far too early. Even our little dwarf friend hadn't awoken quite yet, and I didn't like to disturb or go into her kitchen without permission.
have you seen Serial today?
No, I didn't check on her this morning.
Okay.
You check on her.
No. I mean, I didn't hear her. I didn't see her. I just made my way out quietly. Didn't want to disturb anyone. I felt no need. Should I have checked on her?
Do you want to go and get your armor and pick that up, because that should be ready today?
Thanks for reminding me. Thank you, Jax. It's over this way?
Yeah, I'll sort of lead off and sort of take him off to the leather workers.
Yeah, this is the same place where you needed to go, and that conversation happens about the guy Dirg in Kansas. So Charlie's now got studded leather.
Yes.
Armor. Studded leather armor.
Only smells slightly of Jax.
Yeah. Like.
What?
Smells slightly of Jax.
Oh yeah, because it's from Jackson, isn't it?
It was Jax's old armor because he now has a breastplate.
Oh, take me off, stop it.
Okay. I haven't got chocolate, guys. I've had it too early now.
So head on back and see if we can find, basically ask one of the guards at the gate if Serial's come out or if she's still in the castle. Sort of track her back.
They say, we haven't seen Lady Elf today. She's not left this way.
All right. And yeah, sort of track back into the castle and sort of ask around until we can track her down.
I head straight to the kitchen.
Okay.
She's hungry again. You've done a little bit of walking and that's it.
Well, I'll need to drop the big tray off for the next meal.
You reload.
Yeah.
I head to the kitchen because I just want to ask if the cook may provide us some food for our next journey. We will notify her beforehand when we are leaving for the journey, but I've become rather fond of her food,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like some for when we are not here.
Yeah. By this time, you have learnt Lady Dwarf's name,
Which is
Ferrin Oost.
Ferrin Oost. Oh, I love it.
Ferrin is quite familiar to you by now. She really loves that you appreciate her food. She is stunned by the amount that you can consume, but is more than happy to provide you and Jax with the food. She knows that you're taking it outside, but is kind of turning a blind eye to it. And when you're in her domain, in the kitchen, it's very familiar.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're up at the table, eating up there in the dining hall, it's very dress code and everything.
Very professional.
Yeah, very professional. But down here, the air is sometimes blue as she drops things clatter, or egg yolks break, and
the language used is
there is blue. Yeah, the air is blue, as they would say.
Yeah.
Sometimes in languages you understand, and sometimes in languages you've never even heard of, and sometimes in things you're not even sure are language at all. Just sheer exclamation of profanity. She agrees. When you leave next, she will make you some sort of staying food, maybe some like heavy bread or something like that you will be able to take with you, that would last while you are out traveling.
Oh, that could possibly work.
Cured meat would work.
I was just thinking, if she was to make a soup, could I, being an ice dragonborn, freeze it to then be able to carry it frozen?
Yes.
To then heat up.
Or you could probably just get sort of water skins and get them filled with soup.
Men of flask, essentially.
We're going to be talking about, if we're going across an ice bridge to an ice continent, it's going to be pretty cold. One of the things that we need to find out is actually get some sort of firewoody type stuff that we could actually take bundles of and take with us, because I don't know that we're going to be able to get them when we're sort of out and about.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is that a possibility?
Yeah.
Could I get something and freeze it?
Yeah, you can freeze it or store it. Yeah, she agrees to make you a broth if you would like. She's still got some rather hefty bones of owlbear that she says she can boil down and make a.
Oh, owlbear soup. Nice.
I just lean in and I'm like, what about the eclairs?
She says, she shakes her head grimly, looks at you and says, I'm sorry, Master Killian. The cream would just rot in a day. It would be no good.
They won't last a day.
I shall make you some for the day you leave, and you can have them for second breakfast.
And third breakfast.
So, yeah,
a snack between breakfast.
Crunch.
Yeah, so what would you like to do now? You've agreed to make this snack. Jax, where are you?
I'm trying to track down Ariel.
Yeah, that's quite easy to do.
I'm asking guards and things if they've seen her, and basically
They would point
down.
you towards the other tower, which you have yet to visit.
Yeah.
And you would find her in the library.
Having fun. Found out anything interesting?
Not yet. I've only just got in here.
Sorry, go on.
I just have a little chat with Pharrell, and he just seemed genuinely worried about the prince. He thinks the prince may have a slight mania going on, and that
he thinks he's a bit weird.
Yeah, he thinks he's a bit weird. And if he thinks he's a bit weird, he's super weird.
Okay, so you found out anything about this? Where he could have gone through in the grave and stuff?
No, I literally have been talking to him, and I've only just got into the library. I need to go through some books on the Shadowfell and the Charfell.
Charles has followed Jax and steps gingerly into the room. And Jax, you see him kick at a pile of books that are in pieces beside the door.
I glare at him about kicking books. Charles, what are you doing?
They're the ones that did the thing.
What thing?
The ones that attacked you.
The ones that came up and did the sort of hitty punchy thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave those books down there, Phil. We don't really want another attack from the book.
I was just checking. I didn't want a repeat of last time.
Right. Okay.
He says, I've this morning prayed that we may find resolution to what we seek. Saria, would you care for some help looking for whatever it is you feel you need?
Whatever else you're looking for. Yes. You want to have a look through the books on Charfell, and I will look through the books.
Oh, Shardfall.
Yeah. The Shardfall.
Charfell, and I will look through the books on the Shadowfell.
Okay, there is an agreement and a nod. Jax, are you staying for this?
I'm curious, but I'm going to start poking around the pile of battered and hacked up books that may have attacked them last time. I'm curious what sort of topics they were on and stuff to see if that was any defense of that particular thing.
You can make an investigation check, please.
I'm using it.
Investigation.
I would have really.
No. I got a 2.
No.
Jax picks it up and starts to sort of.
I'm probably trying to piece them back together and I've got a green book on top and a black book on the bottom and stuff. I'm not doing very well.
You're looking down the spine and you kind of go, the cat sat on the, and can't figure out the last word. Serial, please make me an investigation with advantage. Hello?
Is she frozen?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry,
Hello,
Serial.
sorry, I lost you. I was just getting bits of words and frozen picture.
Okay,
So Jackson was poking books. That's about
I didn't do very well.
Jax couldn't figure them out because he rolled a 2. Serial, would you like to roll an investigation, but with advantage because Charlie's helping?
While this is
Is she
going
frozen again? No?
Oh God, please don't freeze me again. My internet seems really bad. I think
No, you're back. You'll be moving. You just been sitting really still in almost identical position to when you froze last time.
The library.
You need to know if they're in there. You would know they're in there. No, you could have done the same thing. Yeah, you can be creeping up to most.
Could I?
Am I doing the investigation or is Jackson? Sorry.
No, you need to make an investigation for what you're investigating, which is the Shadowfell, and you're doing it with advantage because you've got Charlie Boy.
Good. I got 5 and 7.
5 and a 7. Okay. You look back through the books and you don't feel that the information is here that would gain you insight into either of these places. You read quite a bit on the Shadowfell last time about this sort of place of dead and undeath and of mists and tombs, a place that sits synonymous with this plane that you exist in, but a dark, twisted realm, much like the Fey Wild, but a dark version of it. Yeah, can you make your stealth check for me, please?
Stealth.
Yes,
So
please.
basically, I've got nothing new because that was pretty much what I knew last time.
Jax, you hear outside the door someone creeping up to the library.
I'm gonna sort of go to the side of the door, sort of, so when it opens, I'll be behind it, and I'm gonna get my big camera out just in case.
Okay, so you're readying your action, are you?
Well, I probably will check, just in case it is sort of creepy self or whatever. But
Okay.
just in case, because like last time they said they were attacked here and stuff.
Okay. What is it? You think you're hidden perfectly, but tell me, what is it you want to do?
Can I hear those guys talking from in the library?
You can hear Charles like sort of muttering out loud as he's reading over text, kind of like shadows and darkness, mausoleum, and then just like the odd word is like darkness, graves, skull, and then just like this strange like staccato with kind of like a babbling underneath.
I quickly poke my head around the library door and I'm like, shh, like that bitchy librarian. There's Killian just like,
she says that, but she's still got chocolate eclair all around her mouth. No, not in reality.
Not in real life.
oh yeah, I was just like, what?
Yeah. Charles looks
Do
up.
I haven't got chocolate eclair around one.
You've been eating eclairs all morning with the dwarf.
Yeah, I was asking her to make them.
You would have had one. Come on, are you trying to tell me Killian would have left any sort of pastry alone?
And she had them in her pockets and she was handing them out to the children. So
you would have eaten some of them. There'd be like one for me, one for you, one for me. Yeah, so there's lots of cake around Killian's face. And Charles raises an eyebrow. You glance to your left, and there's a half orc with an axe raised above you.
And I just start giggling. I'm sitting
Yeah, well, I'm not doing much here. So do we want to check out the rest of this place?
Yeah, why not?
Are these guys doing their book thing?
Yeah, leave the nerds to do the book thing.
I don't know what the other floors are. I don't know. We're kind of gone in at the library is basically in at the tower level or the bridge level.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So is it upstairs or downstairs?
There's down, there's up.
Let's go down first.
Okay, and then I might need to go and do some shopping. Anywhere.
Okay. No trouble. Yeah. So if you go down, the next floor down below the library appears to be like a sort of historical room. It is circular, and it is red carpeted with a circular red carpet, and all round the edges are very fine suits of armor, but at different ages of person. So from very young going up and to a kind of adult human shape.
Okay, does the adult human shape look familiar? I.e., does it look like the princes, or is it more likely to be kings, do we reckon?
You can make a whiz if you like.
I'm really craving Danishes now. It's all your fault.
There's always a lot of food in the Fragments episodes. There's always like drinking and just like, yeah, a lot of food.
I don't quite know how that happened, Killian.
It happens, but it does happen a lot, right?
18.
Oh, so you don't really need to. You wander over and try to assess the size, and on each one of them there's like a little sort of plaque. Yeah, and it says Tustin, age whatever, and then it's the last.
The prince.
The Tustin's the prince.
Prince.
Yeah.
He's a bit creepy one. Bit weird.
Yeah, he is a bit weird. I'm just looking at them, just like, this is creepy.
Does anybody? Would you like to do anything else, Jack? Would you like to?
I mean, what? So is it? What sort of armor is it? Sort of? Is it different suits or different? I know it's different. Is it different types of armor, or is it all like?
Yeah. So there's some that seems to be quite like hunting type stuff that you might have on horseback. There's some sort of stuff that's quite ceremonial that looks just basically gilt but very useless. Lots of extra filigree and stuff that would actually probably just actually catch weapons rather than deflect them or move them away. And the one that Killian is looking at is basically like full plate, but so lightly made that even Tustin in his small form might even be able to wield within this shape.
Can I sort of have a look at the sort of because like if it's been made light, is it actually like functional armor or is it just a costume? You know, I'm sort of proficient in smithing and stuff. You know, I actually want to sort of go in and have a look close at the
I'd say investigate with your and then add your proficiency. Yeah.
But because of my fire rune, I think it is, I get to double my proficiency.
Fire.
Yeah. You learn.
You have very expressive eyes.
So investigation +6.
Who's got expressive eyes? Been.
So 8.
8.
Yeah. I rolled a 2.
You look at it, it appears thick. It appears like it's made of metal. You have no idea if it would be able to actually function on a battlefield at all. It doesn't, even with that low roll, it doesn't look like this suit has seen any action. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of go to the back of it and like sort of hold the stand that it's on and kind of just sort of push the back plate in a sort of see how much resistance it gives. You know, I've got strength 18. You know, does it sort of flex under your thingy, or is it a sort of a solid?
It's solid.
Okay.
You push it.
That's cool.
But it doesn't look like it's had any like wear and tear.
No.
Okay.
I don't know if it's made of like sort of a stronger metal than like steel or anything.
Have any of them had any wear and tear? Like even the more decorated pieces, have they had any wear and tear?
You could go and make an investigation check of that if you want to have a look at that. So make me an investigation. You've written them all down. Where's your book?
I've leveled up twice since I wrote that, so I have to alter it all. Oh, I'm sorry, Toby. I do apologise if me tapping that disturbed you. What am I doing? Sorry.
An investigation. 13.
14.
You look at it and tell me how you're investigating it.
So I'm going up to
one of the more regal ones,
the more decorated pieces, and I'm going up to that and literally like examining it up close
with your eyes.
With my eyes.
Look at.
I'm not looking at.
Gillian's trait it's Killian's habit of licking is like kills his.
I like to lick it if I don't know what it is.
Okay.
The thing is that I don't really want to touch them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go up to them like, so my snout is like that far away. And I'm just
You sniff them.
like all over this thing.
yeah.
I want to examine like every inch of this thing and smell it. And
yeah, that's the one that gets something.
okay, what?
You get on the more regal one the scent of fine perfume.
Ooh.
Of fine something. Yeah, something definitely expensive. Something definitely very well crafted.
So you say perfume. Does it smell like a woman's perfume or a men's cologne?
It's a cologne.
It's a cologne. Will you get on your bed? Stop begging for ginger nuts. Bed. When me and the dog have the same favourite biscuit.
I've never done it anywhere.
So, do I recognise the smell?
Make a history. Natural 20. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a 21.
Yeah, it's his.
It's the princess.
Yeah. It definitely smells like Princess Warmness.
Okay. But is this a more recent piece or an older piece though? Looking at the date or the age or whatever is on the
This
back
is
at the bottom.
Current to the heavy piece.
Oh, so it's a more recent piece then. It's not like from when he was younger.
No.
Okay. So yeah, so I turn around. Is Jackson still over examining the armor?
Yeah.
So I turn around to Jackson and I'm like, it smells like him.
Okay.
What about yours?
This hasn't been used.
Huh.
But then we know when his city was under attack, he sat on the throne.
Yeah.
Are there any weapons in here?
Yeah.
What sort of weapons is it? Sort of.
Basically,
is it light or heavy weapons?
There are weapons that look like they are heavy. On the walls, near the heavy armor, near the riding stuff. There are short crossbow type things, handheld crossbows and bow and arrow.
So they look like they're heavy.
Yeah.
You said.
Yeah.
Look them up.
Are they actually heavy? Or are they just for ornamental reasons?
Tell me what you're doing to find that out. Nick it. No, don't.
I don't know if it's heavy or not. Jeez, I'm not weird. Can I go over to the weapons and pick them up?
Yeah. You walk over to the heavy-looking sword behind the piece of armor, and you pick it up, and it weighs probably like 2 rapiers. It's very doesn't have hardly any weight to it at all. It does not feel like a great sword or a broadsword, which is the impression that you are.
So that's the kind of thing that it looks like.
Yeah.
But it's got no weight to it compared to.
Would I know about things like mithril?
Yeah, you probably would have heard of what mithril is.
You know, I know that that's lighter than sort of the equivalent in steel.
Yeah, go and
Right.
make another investigation of this sword, but with your proficiency again. The double proficiency.
I rolled a 10 this time, so 16.
You believe this to be made of shit. You don't believe this is...
This isn't actually a weapon. This is a thing to hang on a wall and look fancy.
It's literally just ornamental.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Certainly the sword is.
Yeah.
The sword behind the heavy armor.
Okay, so is there a bit of weaponry behind every single piece? What about the piece that was behind? What about the weaponry that was behind the piece that I was examining?
Yeah, that appears to be sort of a fine, like rapier type thing. Very thin
That
sword.
was a great demonstration. Yeah.
Yeah,
amazing.
it's like a very thin blade with a gilt handle that kind of encompasses the hand.
Yeah.
I see your hand.
Wrapped with, kind of encapsulates over the top like this, and then wrapped handle, fine sort of vellum, velvety type wrappings around the handle, and the blade is kind of a little bit golden.
Okay, can I?
There's a gold sheet to it. So.
Can I have a look at that one? Like pick it up, weigh it out in one.
Yeah, this feels more like the weight it should be.
Okay. So his one is clearly for display purposes only, kind of thing. My one has actually been worn.
Yes, that sword's been that armor's been worn. Yeah.
And the sword.
If you look down the blade, you can sort of see if it's got any nicks or anything.
Yeah, that's all.
Hello, Waffle.
He's just like, I must investigate what's going on. Toby! No.
Stop.
No.
I just
No.
nearly had
Why, Toby?
Toby just ducked his head under the laptop charger. That could have been disastrous.
Oh.
Can I, examine the...
Yeah, it doesn't
blade?
appear to have any chinks or damage in it. Nothing.
So the blade hasn't been used, but the clothes have been worn.
They've been worn. The blade has not been used for any martial purpose.
I would be surprised if he even knows how to hold a sword, let alone swing one.
It's just a bit weird.
Toby's just trying to get attention, so he's gone under one of Pete's legs and he's laid his head like right between Pete's feet. It's so funny.
Is there another floor below this, or is this the bottom?
No, there are floors going down all the way to the ground level.
Okay, what? I'm going to sort of start heading downstairs.
There is another. The next level down is like a sitting room type thing.
Nothing down.
Yeah, like a lounge.
Lounge.
With there are a few hunting trophies on the wall. There is a fireplace. There's nothing in it. There's a few plush chairs.
I'm gonna sort of see if there's a sort of a little drinks table and pour out a couple of like ridiculously expensive brandies if there is.
Yeah, that's fine. There is a green bottle in it, and it is twisted glass decanter.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for. Jax doesn't exactly have a lot of culture. This is going to be an expensive thing to swell, and he's going to pour out a couple of tumblers full and pass one to him as we head downstairs.
I'm sat in the library not knowing what the fuck to do, and he's bugging off to go and buy some brandy. Not even bothering to find out what I'm doing.
He came in to see you.
What? Sorry, just before you leave that room, what are you doing with the items that you've got?
What?
Items.
The things you picked off the wall, you're weighing them up, looking at them.
Oh, them. I'm trying to put them back. I'm not planning on stealing them.
Sorry, I thought that was just...
No, I didn't know. I didn't know if Keelan's...
No. I wasn't going to steal it. I will be taking the sort of the tumbler full of whatever booze I've just sloshed out downstairs. But
before we leave this room, though, you said there's nothing in the fireplace.
Nothing in the well. There's a hearth. There's some old logs that look well burnt.
Are there any like log rolls, if you know what I mean? You know, like the log bundles. Are there like a small stack of them sat next to the fireplace?
Yeah, there's firewood available. Yeah.
Can I just pinch a few bits of firewood?
Yeah, there's a couple of bits of firewood. You can put them in your pack straight away. No problem. You don't think they'll be missed? You think you've got good enough here for a couple of campfires?
Go. Yeah, let's go. What?
Yeah, you carry on down.
Serial, tell me, you've exhausted everything here. You are sitting there. Charles is still brow furrowed, poring over books and not really getting anywhere with what you're looking at. And you can even tell that Charles is getting near his wit's end. He kind of puts down a book and oh, well, if I have to read another thing about graves and darkness, it doesn't tell you anything. It just whispers and nonsense.
I don't think we're getting anywhere here, are we, Charles? We need to go and look elsewhere. I'm trying to remember what else is on in this part of the castle. I know we went up to the observatory. Obviously, that would be the top floor. I can't remember what else is here, though.
There is the room above you that has, on the floor above, that has the circular steel door that was closed, and when you went inside, it was a circular room that had runes on the floor and the viewing orb in the centre.
Wasn't there some
Yeah,
sort of
I'm gonna relay this
Sorry,
information.
say again, Jax?
Wasn't there some sort of a labby thing as well you had?
Yeah, there was and then above that is a kind of labby type thing, and then above that is that's on the same floor, and then above that is the observatory.
So lab and
Orb room.
orb room are on the same floor.
Oh, on the floor above, yes.
So I'm going to relay the information to Charles. Yes, we move up to the orb room and reinvest and have a look again at the rooms, and maybe I'm going to have a try at seeing if I can recreate what I did with the prince as far as looking into the orb is concerned.
Okay, yeah. You go up with Charles, and Charles is going to make an arcana, because he would naturally walk in and see these things on the ground and start wondering.
Arcana as well, if he doesn't get anywhere.
You could assist him. So he's going to go arcana. So rolling with advantage with Sarah's help, he makes a 17. So he determines that these runes are warding runes, and they appear that they would be designed to keep something in.
Something in?
Yeah.
In the actual room, physically, or in as in the orb?
They would create a magical barrier, as if you were the old wives' tales of circles of salt.
Oh, okay. Protective room, as it were.
No, did you just look into the kitchen?
Well, Toby, going off now to the kitchen to look into
No, I'm just going to show you. This is what we've got a view of this way.
that.
It's the creepiest thing.
Standing in the darkness, just like
Going in the dark, glowing is a slightly wild-looking dog.
glowering at us like some weird beast. Yeah. So yeah, he says these are designed for entrapment, containment, to hold in. I think our prince might have been being at least careful with his experiments to set up these protections.
Charles, are you happy for me to try and recreate what me and the prince did with Yor? If I can.
His feathered eyebrows raise, and he says, "What did you see last time?"
I can't remember.
You saw a version of Gargamel,
Oh, no, that's it.
the forest, and you were kind of on a roller coaster, like you were traveling through without control. And you managed to see part of what you'd seen before in Feywild. Then you kind of came out the other side of this bubble of Feywild, and then you were looking back at the archway, and then of bracken and wood and roots, and you saw a mushroom of the Fey, but growing this side of the bubble. And you made the assumption at that point, I believe, that you thought it might be coming through or something like
The
that.
Fae coming through to the real.
Yeah. Shush.
Aww.
Shall we have a quick break? Because I think the dogs are going to make us have a break.
Yeah, that's
Whether we
fine.
like it or not.
Right.
Stop playing.
Yeah, we'll just have a quick break.
Lovely.
Make some teas.
Make some teas
Okay.
and be nice to the dog.
Jax and Kieran, you were exploring further down.
We were going on down from the sitting room with a brandy.
Yeah, you'd poured this drink that, like the bottle, has a green hue to it. Are you sipping, or as you walk?
Yeah, he's going to sort of drink it while he's wandering around the tower exploring. So, you know, expect it to last half hour.
Cool, lovely. Let's have a just check saves from each of you, just to see how well you handle this sip, please.
I rolled nat 20, so 26.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Beat that.
14.
16.
You feel your head swim slightly, but nothing terrible. There's a warm, mellow feeling. There's a sort of lemony taste in your mouth as you drink this green substance. The next floor down appears to be the floor with a bedroom in it. Again, lavishly occupied. Clothes, all very lavish, what you've seen the prince wearing before.
Are they like his size? I mean, is this likely to be his bedroom?
Yeah. You. This is the assumption.
As there isn't any guards worrying about us wandering around and sort of poking around and stuff.
It appears that bridge is the sort of main conveyance between the two.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though it reaches the ground, you know the other tower reaches the ground. The guards are posted at the far end of the bridge. Like, this is chambers, and doesn't want to be disturbed. But you may be not supposed to be going round the place. Golf gave you access to the library.
Well, you know, we're
nosy.
Can I have a look round this room?
Yeah, of course. What are you looking for?
I don't know, just anything interesting? Anything that we might find of interest related to what Cyril and Charles are looking for in the library?
See if he's got any books in here. He might have brought stuff for light reading down here.
Yeah.
You look around the room and you realise that if you were to lay in the bed, you'd look upon a portrait
of
more of a family portrait. So there is a young boy,
yeah,
thin, dark hair,
yeah,
and a rather broad-shouldered figure with a crown upon the head. And in front of them there is slain animal.
mhm,
Looks like some sort of bear,
mhm.
white fur.
Would I recognise it?
The animal.
Yeah.
Make a nature.
16.
From the angle it's at, it just appears to be a bear. You can see like the back of it. You don't get any more than that, but the fur is white.
Okay.
Polar bear.
And the boy is looking up at the side of the eye at this majestic figure, and the fatherly figure's staring straight at you.
Guessing that's the missy thing.
So he's looking at Dad. Dad's not looking at me.
Dad's looking forward, kind of quite stark.
Okay. And what's the expression on young princes?
Do me an insight check. Let's see if we can figure out what that is like. Let's see what you get from this picture.
Got a mouthful of nutshell.
Love,
Love.
you'd say? Loving look, respect, maybe?
Okay. Anything else in the room that we would find interesting?
Lovely big bed. You know how Kills lies a bed. Squidgy bed.
I know, but I don't really want to get on in Prince's bed.
Yeah. Are there any books on a bedside table or any,
No, there is a wash basin that is empty, dry. There are a few bottles and stuff on the cabinet near the wash basket. Near the wash basin, sorry, not the wash basket, the basin. And there are things that look like
And on the ceiling.
perfume dispenser type
that's
things.
what the picture was. Are there any steps down?
Yeah, there is a further way down.
Okay.
I'm looking under the bed. Carry on downstairs.
Just quickly, is there a wardrobe in this room?
His stuff is arranged in the room.
Oh. Is there any room under the bed?
There is space. Yeah, Jax is looking under the bed.
Oh, I'm going downstairs. I was taking the piss. I was saying I'm going down under the bed, down the next floor.
Okay.
Killian, look under the bed. Killian, look at the ceiling. Killian, look up behind the picture.
You look under the bed. There is a small wooden box.
What's from that?
It has a lock.
Seems tools.
Just take the box and put it in my bag.
Okay.
Are there any other pictures on the wall? Is that the only one?
There's some scenes of mountains. One looks like a picture of mountains in the distance, and a trekking cart or something moving through snow plains.
Okay. Can I kind of move every picture to see if there's anything behind them?
There is something behind them.
What?
Faded wallpaper, where it's not faded.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Is there anything on the back of the pictures?
No.
Nothing hidden.
Doesn't appear so.
Okay.
Ceiling.
Is
That's a dog.
Joining in.
Go.
No, it's a. Yeah, it's a.
No, there's no words.
Is that Popeye or Toby?
Poppy.
Popeye.
Go on then.
Yeah, I head downstairs with Jackson then.
This area seems more disused. There are old furnitures and cabinets, quite neatly arranged, but covered in, again, similar to the abandonedness that you felt in the mansion before, the Brandifact place. There's dust sheets and covered.
When I get down there on that, can I have a look and see if it? I mean, if it's a sort of a storeroom and people don't come down there, is there dust and is there any marks in the dust?
Let's have a survival.
Oh, I rolled 19, so 23.
It seems someone's been through here.
I would like to try and follow where they are. Ideally, not, you trying to use the sort of the same footprints and things to try and, not make it obvious that we've been going through everything.
Yeah.
To where they went.
Kills. You follow?
If you get back up, I'm gonna sort of, if you get to the sort of top of the stairs and I see you, I'll sort of hold up my hand and sort of say, wait there for a sec while I.
I was gonna say I'm gonna like wait outside that room or like on the stairs.
To the top of the stairs,
not
yeah.
disturbing the dust.
Okay. The room appears to be, it's probably about 60 feet square within this circular space.
Okay. Right.
Of the entire tower. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In a square room that is in a tower. The walls are slightly curved on the corners where it hits, and it's quite full as you're looking around. Where would you like to move? There appears to be like a central path, which is
I want to try and sort of follow the path of whoever's been through here as much as I can.
Can you remind me of your passive perception, please, as well?
11.
11. Okay. You hear a shuffling to the sort of, if forward is northeasterly corner.
Okay. Can I attempt to stealth?
Yes, you may.
I'm not at disadvantage, but I'm only at +1. No, I can't. I rolled a 3. So yeah.
Special.
Yeah, that's special.
The shuffling stops.
Okay, if it's obvious I'm not doing very well at sneaking, I'm gonna go for Jax's backup plan. I'm gonna sound authoritative and be like, come out into the light.
Okay. Are you in persuading or intimidating?
No, definitely intimidation. It's a commanding sort of gruffy voice.
Let's have an intimidation roll then, please.
An intimidation. Ooh, I rolled an 18 and an 11, so 21. Oh, sorry, no, 20, not 21, but yeah.
Out from behind what appears to be a coat stand covered in a sheet walks the prince.
Okay. I thought you would gone traveling and we weren't expecting you back for days.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, just princely things to do.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No, I suppose you wouldn't, would you?
As bad as I'm going to be, can I actually have an insight? Because, like, he's a bit weird. No, I'm on the floor.
No, you don't get any read.
Yeah, no. And can I actually sort of just quickly check out his like boots and things and hands and stuff? Because you know, as far as we're under the impression, last night he was digging up graves.
This set of clothing that's clean and fresh.
So are you going to be at dinner tonight then?
Yes, I'd love dinner. I think we should all sit round and do princely good dinner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jax doesn't know.
I know. Okay, can I shout from the bottom of the stairs? Because I can, from where I am.
Well, you'd have heard me shout, "Come out here" and stuff, because it wasn't being subtle at that point.
Jack kind of vanished behind there's a large wardrobe, and you heard this. You would have heard him clatter into something, and then shout, "Come out!" Yeah. What would you like to do, Killian Ron?
Can I just call out Jax? Who's there?
It's like the prince guy.
Okay, can I then walk on Jackson's footsteps into... Wait, no. Wait. So has Jackson walked on these footsteps that were there in the dust?
Yeah.
That's what Jax asked to do.
Right. So can I walk on those footsteps up to where Jax is and look at the tracks that are on the floor and see if they are actual footprints or if they are something else, please?
You can make an investigation.
Because it's the way he keeps saying princely things, and I'm like, it ain't him.
Yeah, Jax doesn't make one.
So what am I making, sorry?
Just a straightforward investigation. You're looking at these maybe no. It can be kind of tracking, so survival, I think.
God.
That's what I did to find him anyway.
Not too bad. So 20.
You see that these are footprints made by boots.
Are they the boots that the prince wears that we've seen when we've been at dinner with him, when he greeted us with his legs over the side of the throne like some pansy?
Yeah.
They're his boots?
Yeah. If you look at the guy across the way that Jax has found, they appear to the boots that he's wearing.
Okay. I just simply say, do you know who we are?
This is royal guests.
Who are we? Why are we here?
You're the rescuers of the town. You saved the ice bridge.
Where have you been?
I went out.
Where?
To the town.
For how long?
Well, I've been around there, and then I came back here looking through all things.
I know, he said he's going to come to dinner. What are you doing down here? It's like, sort of, don't you have people for this?
Old memories.
Whoa. You said you're going to come for dinner. You would like us all to sit and have dinner.
Yeah.
What would you like for dinner?
I'm sure the cooks cooked up a storm.
Like what? What do you like to eat?
I don't really know. Bit of everything.
Nah, I ain't him. Our prince don't eat shit.
Was that in character or out?
No, out of character. The prince don't eat shit.
Oh, I know, yeah,
Remember
that
from
knows.
first night?
But Jax doesn't.
I know, but from the first night,
Yeah,
he
Jax
barely
doesn't know
touched
this stuff.
anything.
And I rolled terribly on the insight, so I'm not even getting the. But he's weird, and he's still weird. So you know.
Jax is like,
He's still weird.
Jax
so-
is considering finding a magical tattooist that will tattoo. He's a bit weird on his arm.
It's like, he's a bit weird.
He's triggering Jax's his weird sort of dart, and yeah, and this one is too. So you know that's about right.
So back in character, can I do an insight check to see if he's lying?
Yeah, you can. Oh, sorry, that's your dice.
What are you doing?
Go for it.
Wait, insight. Oh no, I'm dreading this now. Shit. Because I know it ain't him. Does Killian know it ain't him?
I'm just going to raise my voice and shout.
Natural one. You have your doubts for a moment, and then think, look at his raiment, look at his clothing.
I'm going
Killian
to.
is convinced that it's the prince.
Right, I'm going to raise my voice and sort of almost shout for Thulf, because like he's this weird person that like magically appears whenever you like sort of need him and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if he goes and appears.
In a few moments, there is a Thulf at the end of the dust. At the gateway to the room.
Found him.
Where? How did you? I've been watching the gate.
I know, he said he went to town and then came back.
But I've watched the gate all day, all night.
And he didn't come through it.
No.
How did you get in?
I'm a prince. I have my ways. Beneath the town, there are catacombs. In my researches, I've found a map.
Where does the catacomb come out exactly?
There is a.
She's not in the room. She can't ask you a
I
question.
know you can't.
But Jax can sit there and go, what did you say to our friend? Because she was really upset after your date.
So,
Actually, I can hear the commotion. They're only 2 floors down, and I'm going to go down and see what the fuck's
No, we're
going
not.
on. I'm going to bring
no,
Charles.
You're in the lab, Aldrin. We're 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 5 floors below you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. If you can hear what's going on, you've got the most amazing hearing.
She is an elf.
I am an elf.
And Jax did shout and stuff, but yeah. So hang on a sec. He actually upset my friend. So, what did you say to my friend to upset her? Because she was really looking forward to that date night, and she came back and she was like proper not happy about it.
And Killian stood behind Jax like, yeah.
The prince says, looks a bit flustered and said, things don't always go to plan, even if you're a prince. I would not want to hurt or upset anybody.
Doesn't answer his question though, does it?
I think that's between me and your friend.
And our friend's name is?
answer.
Is that enough of a sort of re-inciting
Yeah.
chance?
Yeah, both of you now, even with the natural one. No, Killian.
I didn't roll a natural one. I rolled a 4.
No, Killian rolled a natural one. So, yeah, you can make an insight on that, both of you.
Both of us. Oh,
Yeah.
thank
I rolled a
God.
12, so 13.
Go on then, you do. Oh my God.
Mhm.
20. I got a 19 with a plus. Oh,
You
that saved
you
my
both
natural.
think that he's just a bit abashed.
Oh, come on! You shit.
I did the roll. The dice is doing it, not me.
No, this is you.
20, if you got a 14, they should get more than that.
No, not this guy. Come on. As your nan would say, think logically.
Can we go and have a look? Because I haven't been to this observatory, and apparently that was quite cool. You said that was quite impressive when you were looking at Grimish's eye.
Of course. Thalf, would you show them?
No, no. We want you to show us.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing is, we do have other places to be, and you know, like a reward for saving the town would be quite nice.
I haven't paid you. I haven't paid you. Thalf, would you arrange it, please? As you will, master. As you will, sire, not master. Sorry, sire.
So yeah, so I'm gonna put my arm around his shoulder and sort of start leading him back towards the stairs.
At that, there's a wince of the shoulder, and
That's fine. Jax doesn't have any sort of, you know, social niceties in him.
yeah,
we're going to check out his
and you proceed upstairs. Serial and Charlie are in this room, looking at an orb. And
can we hear them coming yet, or are we still on our plan to look at the orb?
Plan to go and touch an orb again, Serial Gladriel.
So, I try and remember what the prince did before, and I'm going to do an Arcana check to try and get a greater insight into the magic.
Yeah, that's contained within the orb.
Yeah. Eight.
You have no greater understanding of what the orb contains.
I was really expecting something sarcastic then. I was a little bit let down that that's all you said.
Sorry.
Like, oh.
With that,
I thought he was going to go, it's magic.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was expecting like, I was like, oh.
sorry, build you up with sarcastic comments all this time, and when I drop you,
I was a little bit heartbroken.
Sorry,
like, oh.
I'll come up with one in a minute.
Cheers.
Okay.
Sarcasm.
You have no more greater appreciation of the prince's orbs.
That's better.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Crack on.
You're
Like-
ashamed.
What's up?
Okay, so am I gonna? I'm going to try and replay what I did with the prince in my head, and I'm going to put my hands on the orb and try and recreate what was said and what was done before.
Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm trying to focus on the scene that played out before about the forest in Gargamel, and the, in particular, the Feywild mushroom that sort of looks seems to appear on the wrong side of the Feywild into our world.
Can you make me another Arcana check first?
Probably better than the last one. What, +5 for God's sake. 19, that's there.
Okay. You are standing in forest, but on the edge of wetland, and the wet, boggy part between trees, mud and sort of fallen leaves. And this is true forest. This is forest that is what you're used to. This doesn't appear to have the twisted elements to it. You also feel like you have some sort of control this time. With that high Arcana roll, you don't feel like you're on the roller coaster track type feeling that you had before. You feel like you might be able to maybe navigate. You see that there are in the mud footprints.
I follow those footprints.
Moving out to a small, along a pontoon of land that goes out into the swamp to a sort of oval-shaped island that's out in this kind of boggy area.
Okay, I follow the footprints and go across to the island.
You step out onto this area, walk forwards, and as you reach the sort of oval of the island, you feel that sort of walking through a bubble feeling on your skin.
Okay.
And you're stood on an island surrounded by a lurid turquoise water that glints and glistens.
So this looks like I've gone into sort of the Feywild.
Yep, indeed. There is a small, squat house with smoke coming from the chimney, circular round windows. Almost this place is so small, it's like sunken into the very fabric of this island, which was not there when you looked upon it in the other realm, in the material plane. And you can hear all around you croaking.
Magic frogs. Okay, I look around and see whether I can work out where the croaking is coming from.
Everywhere you look, in the water, on lily pads that are pale shades of blue, are frogs and toads of various shapes, designs, colours, patternings, all gribbeting, talking to each other.
I've got talk to animals, so I'm going to pick a frog that looks larger than the others or is more dominant than the others, and I'm going to say hello.
Cool.
I'm going to go, hello, what's your name?
Gilbert.
Gilbert. Hello, Gilbert. Do you know where I am, please? I've not been here before.
A swamp.
Do you know anything about the... oh, I just inhaled something. Do you know what this house is, please, on the island?
Kind lady.
Do you know her name?
Kind lady.
Thanks, Frog. She feeds you, does she?
Feeds us.
Does she do anything else for you?
Just.
Sorry, say that again?
Pets us.
pets her, so she looks after you and feeds you.
Yes. And then
Is she home today, or is does she go away for? She's gone away for some time.
inside.
She's inside. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to go and introduce myself. Thank you for your time. And I leave the frog, and I go across to the island. And as it got a front door.
You're on the island. As soon as you hit the island, this kind of vision comes about.
Okay. So, is there a front door to the shack?
There are little circular windows. There is a door, and it is ajar.
So it's a bit like a hobbit house, yeah?
It's squat, but it is full-size humanoid in terms of size. It's just squat. Your elongated shape and features would mean you probably have to duck to get through.
Okay, so I lower my head, and even though the door's ajar, I sort of knock and say, "Hello."
Come in.
Hi, and I sort of peer around the gap and duck my head down to go inside.
With their back to you, stirring a large cauldron frantically, is a brown, hunched over, tattered, knitted, backed kind of jumper cardigan with some kind of once white smock underneath that is stained brown and tattered, and there is wrinkles of flesh at the neck that stick out above the top of the smock, and long black hair protrudes from the wrinkles and folds, and straggly black lank hair hangs down beneath a pointed hat that is patched and dented and points but with a kink at the top.
I'm thinking of one of the witches in Weird Sisters here. Hello, and I sort of try and stand as regally as I can, even though I'm sort of hunched over still because
your head hits against numerous things above the door.
Sorry, say that again?
Your head bumps into
numerous
something
things
above the door hanging.
So I was like,
hello. As you look round, there are herbs, dried frogs, and various little bits of bones, trinkets.
So she's some sort of witch or white witch or herbalist. Okay, so I introduce myself and I ask her what her name is.
She turns, and as she turns, the eyes go wide, and this mouth that is too wide for her face smiles, opens up thick purple lips, yellow gnarled teeth, and eyes that open that are yellow and shaped like a frog's sort of figure of 8 eyes. And she laughs loud and screams, "You!" And then you're back in the room with Charles.
Okay. Get one out of her then, all right. I relate to Charles exactly what happened, and I'm a little shaken by the whole experience. I'm not sure. I say to Charles, I'm not sure whether it was the witch's spell that got me into her house, or whether it was something to do with the fact it was the Feywild, or whether there was some sort of crossover between the Feywild and the real world that was sort of, it was almost like the prince's kind of broken the barriers between the two worlds, and it's become a bit more fragmented. I rely on my minions to Charles. What did Charles say?
We best not meddle with this anymore. I don't think without the proper reading we should be. He seemed very edgy about it and why there would be such warding runes round the room. He seems to want to leave this space.
Yeah, he's not comfortable around the Feywild, is he?
Charles was quite happy in the Feywild. He wasn't happy about this space.
Right. Okay.
I think he was happier in the Feywild than Jax was.
Mm.
In the Mad Matter one.
There was buns with jam. I don't know, buns again. There was like another eating episode where they're just all like eating jam.
It's very true. All of our episodes do involve food in some description.
And the Mad Hatter's tea party.
The Mad Hatter's tea party. Yeah.
You leave the room and you see Jax with his arm around the prince walking up the stairs.
I am visibly shocked. I'm like, you.
What?
Are they walking up the stairs like ahead of them, or
they've kind of come out of the room and the observatory's on the next floor, and you like this.
Yeah, so sort of met on the stairway as they're spiraling up the staircase.
I'm kind of I'm like behind Jax and the prince, trying to like usher them up the stairs, and then I'll turn around to Sarah. I'm like, it looks like the prince.
No, you've got no idea.
Pete, does he feel right though? Does what I, when I put my arm around him and sort of put my arm on his shoulder and I'm leading him up the road, does it feel right?
Yeah, all of the proportions seem in proportion.
Does he seem like warm or cold or anything?
Does he seem warm or cold?
We're almost there, aren't we? There's something.
If you didn't get high
Deception.
saving throws or whatever, you would know.
But yeah, does he feel the right temperature?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at him. This is the first time I've seen him,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna sort of look him up and down as like, there's something not right. I'm sort of in my druidness. I know there's something not right.
Make a perception.
I don't know. You probably get a better read off his face as I'm dragging him around the castle, his own castle.
Yeah.
What did he think when we went through the library and there was the big pile of hacked up books?
Well, the library's in a door off of the main stair, so it's not like you don't go through.
We've just been going up the stairwell rather than
like the spiral stair that goes up, kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. 26.
You notice as you look at him, he doesn't move the same.
He doesn't move the same.
His mannerisms are off.
Okay.
There are
being frog marked by Jack.
I've got a 26 perception, and all I've managed to see is the fact he's walking funny.
He has like long black hair that hangs down, but the prince is flicking all the time. But you've never seen the prince do that before.
Right, so it's almost like he's not comfortable in his own skin.
It's almost like he's not the actual prince.
I relay stealthily to both Jackson and Killian and
We're
Charles.
going to check out the observatory upstairs.
Yeah, well, while we're walking up, I'm sort of saying to them,
You're probably not going to get me because I've literally got my arm around him from March.
Okay, well, I'm saying to the others, apart from Jackson, then that he doesn't seem to be walking right, and look at him flicking his hair. He didn't do that before, did he? Hey, if you talk, you're not going to interrupt me. You chat away.
You're going to follow them up to the observatory, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to follow him.
Cool.
But I'm trying to look at him and look at that hair flicking and look at that gate and try and work out as actually what it is.
He says, Lady Serial, let me apologise for the other evening as you walk up.
Does he know? How come he knows my name now? He didn't know my name before.
He didn't say it, but he may have known it.
Okay, fair enough. Carry on.
I'm not quite sure what you expected, and I can tell that my dabblings have shaken you deeply.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the evening I was expecting, that's for certain. Stop it, you two. I thought it was on a promise and that was it.
He proceeds up to the observatory, and looking at Serial, and then attention switches to Thulf.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "You'd like to see, you'd like to look through the telescope," and focus changes to Jackson.
Well, Sarah said it was cool, and like you could see the Grummash eye really well. And I'm assuming it's not there now because I can't see it, but like you can see other stuff and things, and that sounds cool.
He says, his
Hang
attention
on a minute.
back to Thulf, and he says, "Yes, this evening you could."
He's looking at the wrong person while addressing another. So he's looked at...
You're noticing this specifically, Serial. You're noticing.
Sorry, say that again.
You're noticing this specifically with that high perception. The others are still convinced.
So I don't know.
You're not looking for anything. You've got no reason to think.
But that's something obvious.
Okay, you can roll what's your passive perception?
Check.
No. 15?
It's not a 21 then.
Hell no.
No, okay, so you've got you don't notice nothing. Yeah, cool. You wouldn't pick up on it. You wouldn't pick up on this like strange interaction that's going on. But you're hearing, Serial. You're constantly looking at this person.
Yeah, and
how does it all work then?
He looks to you. What would you like to know?
Well, like, I've never seen anything like it. So how does it actually work?
I didn't build it.
You must know how it works if you use it frequently. I say to him, it's like...
He looks at Felth and expertly starts cranking the seat and adjusting the lens.
Can I have a look particularly at his eyes, and in particular the eye that's below the black hair that keeps flicking out the way, please?
Mm-hmm. They look exactly like his eyes, as he's like peering, just sort of lining something up to see in the telescope. He's wound it so it looks kind of quite flat.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if there's any sort of barrier that's making him look like the prince to us, but actually he's somebody different?
You can sense and see if there's some magic about it.
What if I hadn't actually lost my page? There we go, Arcana.
Bean, read the chat so P can't see it. Ooh.
18.
I'll close my eyes. 18. There's nothing magical happening.
I can't see the chat. Where's the chat?
Oh no, I sent it to them. The second one.
Don't look.
No, I need to close the chat because it will record weird.
Oh.
You don't detect anything that's a magical effect.
Would I be able to? Would I have been able to tell if it was not of this world, if from an arcana?
You would be able to detect anything. Well, detect magic would detect magic if you had that spell prepared. But you are seeing if there's anything magical you think about this person. There doesn't appear to be.
No, don't you look.
Oh, it's on my phone. I'll swipe it away. Okay.
Okay.
So are we all just stood in this observatory now?
Yeah, and he's aligned the telescope and says,
Yeah, I'll sit in it and
"Yes, Jackson, if you'd like to look now,
yeah,
you peer through."
But who's he addressing when he says that?
He's looking right at Jackson.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit in the chair and.
So I just walk up to the prince, take a pastry out of my pocket, and then Eclair?
He looks at you and says, "Thank you," and puts it to the side.
Killian's giving you the eye. Killian's like, eat the fucking pastry.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of wait for further instructions on what I should be doing in a telescope.
Just peer through the lens there. You should see the smoke.
What smoke?
The big smoke.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look through.
You peer through and you see the focal point through a slightly misty. There's a very, very close up view of the top of a magmatic, semi-erupting volcano, very active, bubbling smoke, orange glows, etc.
That's really cool. Can I see? Because we had somewhere that mentioned the beyond it, the zombie city, Dacumba or something, Dahara.
Dakara.
You can't read your own notes, can you?
Oh, it's the map. The font doesn't expand.
Dakara, I think it is actually.
Yeah. Basically, can I sort of see if we can angle it so if I can sort of see towards it? We had something that mentioned it. I can't remember what it was.
Serial, you notice him glance back to Thulf, and he says, the angle allows us to see the tip of the volcano and not much below that. The plane lies lower.
Can we look south? Can we look over the bridge? Can we see Shardfall?
He looks at Thulf and he says, "I don't know."
Because apparently, there's big pink rocks that we found back on our journeys and stuff.
Can you make me an insight?
Me?
Yeah.
I rolled a 12, so 13.
Nothing more. I'm gonna let you do it as a perception. Do a perception.
Well, assuming it was the same roll, it was the same result, but I got less on perception.
No, nothing.
So
can I do an arcana check of what's his name? Bolf, please, and see if there's something going on with Bolf.
You just check everything for fucking magic. Everyone's become fucking magic. Yes, you can. Of course.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
There's something not right here.
you think?
12.
No.
Can I Can I get a different pastry out of my pocket?
He says,
It's got a fucking larder in that coat.
"Thank you, but you've given me one already. You enjoy it, Killian.
Eat it, they're good.
Not now.
Why not?
I don't feel like it.
Why not?
I eat very little.
So do I.
Not. I've seen you at my table.
And I think it's and often is Killian's one.
Shh.
Say that. Killian has body image issues.
No, she doesn't fucking. If she had that, then she wouldn't keep bringing pastries out of her pocket every 2 minutes.
She likes to keep a supply. He likes to keep a supply.
Says, if you're done,
Did he say we could look at? Did he say we could look at Shardfall?
He said he didn't know.
Oh, can we how do we turn it around then?
Simply this crank here.
Okay, I'll start cranking the handle.
And you'd need to kind of know rough. He says you need to be able to pinpoint it on a map.
Your country. Surely you know where it is. Like that way somewhere. I'm going to point off over the bridge.
Off to the south. He picks up a map, and he's got like a ruler, and then he's got like
the shit that Charlie was using in the captain's office.
Huh?
The shit that Charlie was navigating with in the captain's.
Yeah, he's got like he's got a ruler, and then he's got like a pencil, and then he's got like a protractor, and then he's trying to line it up to point in a direction that it hasn't been pointed before, or that none of the people here have pointed it in before.
Okay.
Without knowledge of how to do it.
That's cool. I mean, I'm going to crank it till it's pointing roughly the right direction and hope he's going to sort of fine tune it for me.
But he knows how to work this machine, doesn't he?
He knew how to point it at the big smoke.
No, what I'm saying is the prince knew how to point it to.
You've not been in this space, but you would make that assumption.
From what Sarah's told us, he knew how to point it at Melora's eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't know how to point it at anything else that isn't on the map.
This character doesn't know how to point it anywhere else. That's what you're assuming.
Yes.
It's very frustrating because we know it's not him, and I can't get a roll high enough arcana to work out who it is.
Okay, so does that trigger anything in my brain to think that something's up? Or
you think that the ineptitude that this character is showing is strange?
okay.
Like the working of the machine pointed it to big smoke? Not sure.
Where is big smoke? Like what's
northwest.
what's around it?
It's just
The lake. It's a volcano in the middle of a lake.
So no matter where you are, can you see that mountain? Or no, it's general area?
We did when we got high enough see it. Some I think when we were up at the house we saw it off in the northwest.
Like just tiny in the distance, you've seen it.
So could I do an insight check now? Is that enough?
You could. Well, your insight check would reveal that he's been incompetent. with this, which would make you maybe suspect something in character.
Okay, yeah. Can I do that?
Yeah.
16.
Do you think that there is something definitely wrong?
Okay. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there.
We're not getting there. We just know he's a bit weird, and he's an extra bit weird now.
Jax's next question is actually, while we're cranking that and he's working out the fine tuning on his little map and stuff, like, how did you get on at Brantifax Manor?
He turns and looks at you, Jax, and says, I've been there, but I didn't go there recently.
I thought you were going up there. That was why you were going out into town.
No?
Weren't you like writing about it in your book in the library?
He looks round, says, and looks at Tholth, and then looks at Sarah and says, I was merely making some notes about it. Fascinating, don't you think?
What was fascinating?
The whole focusing on Sarah as you asked this, the whole extra child that I did not know about. It's in my writings.
What extra child was that then? That you might miss that bit.
He relays you the name of the grave perfectly.
Was it, out of interest, is it Sylphine or Eluthi?
Sylphine, the one that was dug when you got there. May she rest at last, I think. Maybe she find peace at last.
Beloved daughter was the one on that.
Beloved daughter, may she find peace at last, I think it says.
Okay.
Have that adventure with us.
So what was the last question I asked him?
You asked him how,
My
brain's died. I'm trying to think of the last question I asked him because I don't want to ask him.
You were sort of doing. You thought he was being weird because he couldn't use his machine properly.
Yeah, he was looking at the machine wrong. So,
the reason I asked him about the shardfall thing is because we were told he was fascinated
as a child,
as a kid, and wanted to go there. But that was one of the two things he wanted to do with his dad. And
he didn't know what direction it was going.
And said, "B, that we've got something from there," and I was looking for a reaction that I didn't get. Or didn't notice because I'm Jax.
Jax, can you put that together as Jax, do you think? Do you think Jax would put that together, the fact that the kid was obsessed with it? But no, because only Sarah was at that part actually as well. So Sarah hasn't even
realized that at the library. Because when I was in the library.
Did you share that information, your conversation? Oh yeah, you did share your conversation about...
Yeah, I did share my conversation at the end of, what we found out. I relayed all that information.
The reason I was thinking is, if he likes his visions of weird and wonderful things, we've got a pink stone that does just that.
Well, he would. Your consideration would be that maybe that, I don't know if he would be in character, but if he was obsessed with it as a child, why doesn't he know exactly how to point it that way?
That was why I asked to see it, because if it was invisible from here, then it wouldn't be,
Yeah.
And if he was obsessed with it as a child, then surely
you have the setting ready to go.
You know where it was in the castle.
Would Jax in character know that relation?
To be honest, he's been told about the fact that the kid is fascinated by it, and Jax needs to go there anyway and work out what the fuck's going on with this Maury shit. So I know he's fascinated with it, and therefore I'm a bit surprised that he's not.
Yeah, you would think that
sort of,
he would know exactly how to turn this machine.
yeah, that's
like
what.
coordinates. Like it would be like setting the washing machine to the cycle you always use.
That's kind of what that was what I was expecting.
He doesn't know.
Or I was expecting oh, you've got something from there. Oh, can I see it? That's what I was expecting, some degree of enthusiasm about Shardfall, or the fact that we've got a rock from there.
Yeah.
That was what I was sort of.
Yeah, you are surprised as Jax by this inability to get the machine lined up properly.
Yeah, so is there anything in hand?
Can I do so I know his gate's wrong. I know he's not looking at people. How else are we going to work out? How else are we going to uncover what we know? This isn't the prince. But how are we going to uncover that it isn't the prince? Any ideas, people?
I'm going with Solf and people that know him better than we do, because I've kind of exhausted all the things that I would expect to get the reaction from him that I was expecting. None of them seem to. I was expecting a reaction when I talked about Shardfall and the Pink Stone, and I was expecting a reaction when I spoke about Brantifax, and I didn't get what I was expecting for either of them.
You didn't get anything, but that's probably because Jax rolls.
Can I take Fulf to one side, sort of while they're pissing about with the telescope? Can I take Fulf to one side, away from that action, so he can't hear, the prince can't hear, and I'll say to Fulf, something seems out of the ordinary with the prince to you.
He's always quite strange. He's a bit weird.
We've got to get out of a t-shirt. But yeah, well, he is eccentric, but does anything seem more weird than normal to you?
Not to me.
So whereabouts am I in this bit?
You're standing looking at Jax, who's kind of peering at the character at a table.
Is there?
Yeah.
Where's the prince?
Across the room.
That way?
Possibly, yeah.
Right.
We were still at the telescope.
Yeah.
We are still at the telescope, yeah?
Sorry, say again, Sarah?
Are we still at the telescope?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still in the
So
observatory. So say there's say it's like this. This is the room, the circular room. There's a bit for viewing the telescope that goes round. There's a door here. They're over by the door, Serial, and he's over at a table over here doing something. And you can be here.
I can't see what you're drawing. You're going to have to hold it up.
No, it's just for Bean. Bean wants some sort of visual reference quickly.
Right, so that's the telescope.
The telescope is pointing like this. Out and to the side of the thing. There's a desk beneath it.
Yeah. And where am I?
Yeah, if you like. And these two are chatting over here by the door.
Okay, so can I kind of wander up behind Stereo and say to him,
Is it Serial or Fulf?
Solf.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Say to Solf, is there really another way into the council? Into the towers, even?
So I have no idea. I've not been that way.
your mind.
Can I do an Arcana check on health?
You already Arcana 12. No.
I've already done that.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't know if there's another way in.
He said he'd been researching.
Yeah.
Can't see why he wouldn't come through the front.
Exactly.
Mr. DM, you're going to have to give us more of this. We are properly stuck.
Can I go back down to the room where we found him? Because he would have had to go, if there isn't another way out through that room, he would have had to go past me and Jax, and we didn't see him or hear him or...
So you didn't see him or hear him. So you make the assumption there must be somewhere else in that room to get in and out.
Yeah, so can I go back down to that room while everybody else is up in the observatory? Can I go back down to that room and investigate it and have a look around and see if I can find another entrance / exit? See if I can find any evidence to show if that is...
All right.
Make an investigation.
Is that Toad coming in? Hello, Toad.
How's he getting on with his maths to find out how to point it there?
He's flumped in it.
What did you have?
He can't figure out how to position it.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I've been changing a bit with your little.
Where was open? Was that
and I saw all your nice shiny armor and stuff. You want to have a go and like sort of do a bit of sparring?
Was that the place right in the middle? Yeah.
I was admiring all your armors and things downstairs.
Oh yes, the one with the nice thick one, and that really not so great sword that's down there too.
Well, do you fancy a bit of a spar?
He says, I don't really do that kind of thing.
Maybe you need practice, because we're going to be heading over the bridge soon. So next time you have an attack, you might have to stand out there in your suit of armor, waving your sword around. I
can do that without having to spar with you. Thank you, Jax.
That's why Jax is waving somewhere.
Jax does not have a very high opinion of this guy's martial skills.
Just a little stick, like waving your sword around. Sorry, that got me.
So basically, Jackson not only thinks he's weird, he now thinks he's a complete wuss.
Oh, I've thought that all the way through.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed. That was when I was asking, how does one challenge for leadership in your country? Because this seems to be like shit leadership. There's got to be a better option somewhere.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, what's your investigation then?
We're back in a second.
I've got a 19.
There is a small trap beneath a heavy piece of stone that has been dislodged. That leads down. A ladder.
So has it? Can I tell if it's recently been used? Yeah. And the footprints, I've made my own footprints going over to where that guy was. Are the footprints leading to or from that stone?
Footprints that you've seen in that space were moving through that space kind of haphazardly around it. You also see a set of footprints that are leading off from it, but you take those to be the ones that he left that area from.
Right, so there's footprints all around this room. If he was just heading from that stone, like to and from that stone, Why are there footprints all over this room?
I don't know. You tell me. You're investigating it.
You're the DM, so I'm asking you.
Well, I can't
What
tell.
else is in that room?
Dusty furniture, old wardrobes. Should we investigate some of it?
Yeah.
What? Roll me a dice.
Course I do.
Of course, you want to have a look.
It's gonna be lookings.
You have a lookings. Have a little lookings with the
I'm-
investigations.
I'm lookings. I don't want to talk about it.
You lift a dust sheet. Dust
Throw
goes-
dust in my
well,
face.
yeah, dust goes in your
Can't see
eyes.
shit.
You rub them.
Yeah.
You do notice before you do so that the tunnel is cold down there.
Cold.
Yeah, but you kind of then put two and two together and realise that the towers are actually out on the bridge.
Yeah, so it's
Partly out
going
on
to be
the
going
bridge.
down into the ice. It's going to be going down into the ice. Oh. I don't like you. Do you know that? You're fucking with my brain. Shit. I've sworn at you so much this evening.
Oh, perfect DM day.
Just get
No,
your
I
own. We'll do a whole shopping session next week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really. This is just
Oh,
my
yeah.
own back for the shopping episode. I'm just.
Well, I did say, let's go investigate the room, and then I want to do some shopping. So
That's why I just made this so hard to guess. Right, come on, Jax. What are you doing? How are you gonna?
I'm waiting for him to do his maths. I've twiddled it so it's pointing vaguely over the bridge, and I'll have a look
doesn't-
through it.
He's like, he kind of went, oh, you know what? After my excursion, I'm awfully tired. I think I'd like to retire.
Are we any further to working out how the hell we're going to uncover this guy to be a fraud?
He can't work out the maths to find me the shardfall place.
Oh yeah, you can put the fish on. Sorry.
He can't work out on the map how to find the shardfall place.
And
And now he's basically saying he's tired.
he wants to go to bed.
Yeah.
So the place he's always wanted to, obsessed about as a child, he now can't find on the map.
Yeah.
He can't get his telescope to point at it.
Which
He doesn't know which
Jack
direction.
thinks is a bit weird, but that factors into the whole opinion of the prince anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, and I'm going to give him his tumbler back.
Yeah, you're still holding the glass, aren't you?
Yeah.
So he says, lemony flavour. What did you think?
It was all right. Bit different.
Mm.
Where is it from? I don't know. I've never tasted it before.
He looks at Tholth and he says, I don't remember.
Why is he addressing Dolph so much?
He's just looking.
I think Fulf is the prince and the prince is Fulf. I think they sort of swap places.
Dolph magically appears, right?
No, just
He disappeared like ridiculously quickly. In as much as I was like five floors down in the thingy and shouted "Fulf," and he turned up.
Very quickly.
He ain't natural, whatever he is. He might be sort of something.
He's obviously something.
But he might be an air elemental
Do
or
I know of
something
any
like that. Or
people that take the form of the prince?
make a nature check.
I'm getting sick of this now.
You'll get two now. You'll see it.
I just
This
got
is
a
the
bloody
natural
two.
20 you need now.
Don't look.
I'm not looking, I'm looking when it's rolled. +16
17.
You have heard of a creature that has the ability to change shapes?
Oh my god! Does he have the princess cologne on that I smelt on the?
Go sniffing.
Can I go sniff him?
No. You're a dragony thing. That like snakes lick things to smell them.
You proceed upstairs and you go near him. You do not smell.
Now can I make an insight check to see?
Well, what would you want to do? How do you confront him? You know that this person always wears this cologne. It's on his table by the dresser, by the washing bowl.
His whole room smelt of it. His armor that he'd been wearing smelt of it, and he doesn't. How do I approach this?
How does Killian call out the prince? Or the thing he thinks is the prince?
I think you just say it.
I think he would literally just point at him and go, liar!
Yeah, I think intimidation.
What are you going to say? Intimidate him. Intimidate this creature.
I'm just gonna, as I've gone up to him and sniffed him,
Just like,
and then
I need to, look, I really feel I should retire. I'm feeling ever so weary. What a long day.
I take a couple of steps back from him and point at him with one of my claws, and I'm like, liar!
Whatever room we're in, I'm going to close the door.
As
And I'm gonna-
Killian shouts, liar! Okay,
Yeah.
so roll intimidation. And as the door shuts, that's with advantage, creepy elf shutting the door, shutting them in. Intimidation with advantage. Second roll. He quakes in his boots. This person is intimidated. Like, what do you mean?
Who are you?
I'm Prince Dustin.
No, you aren't. We know the prince. You are not him.
Felt like, what are you talking about? He's returned to us.
No,
I was so worried.
no. The prince hasn't. Something else has.
Okay. He looks to Thelth and he says, ask me something only you would know.
I'm going to get up from the chair and sort of, hold them all in a, I'm going to loom a little bit. What's in the room downstairs?
Room downstairs.
Yeah. The one off the lab.
A crystal ball.
What's it do?
Sees things. Places. And while he's doing this, he's looking at Serial.
And I'm going to say, what did you and me see in the crystal ball when we looked together a few nights ago?
I don't know what you saw. You saw separate to me. I didn't touch it at the same time as you.
Matt knows what's going on, but Jack doesn't have a clue.
Yeah, I think I've just realised what's going on, but
Can somebody please tell me, because I still haven't got a fucking clue.
He's reading the answers from people who know the answers, thoughts.
Ah, it's mind reading.
when it's something that
thoughts. So, like Jack, the reason I asked him is Jack hasn't been in there and doesn't know. He only knows what you've told him about it.
but you know, and when he
You know,
asked
and he can check you out.
you, and when he needed to answer questions that he knew Self would know, he was looking at him.
Jax is not smart enough to work that out.
So it's a mind. So it's a mind reader. Yeah?
Would Killian have known? Because Killian's
Killian
already.
didn't perceive it, but you're all starting to see. You're all like watching where he's looking now. Like you're really intensely looking. He's like looking at the wrong person, and when someone's asking him a question, he's not like looking at Jax. He's looking at Serial.
Okay.
How close is he?
To you,
Yeah.
you can be right next to him.
Great. I would like to slap. The spring hat on his head.
Sorry.
I want to put the spring hat on his head.
Oh gosh, you have to remind what the spring hat does. I've forgotten now.
He needs to make a DC 16 wisdom check or fall asleep for 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't check his wisdom actually. What's the wisdom plus in this? No.
He doesn't.
It doesn't pass.
He falls asleep.
He falls asleep.
So I'll catch it. I'll catch him.
As it does so,
Yeah.
the shape changes. It's not
Into what?
a prince. It's a blue-skinned creature.
Does it look kind of like Self? Because he's got bluey skin, hasn't he?
No, this is thin, blue-skinned. Before the eyes close, you see that they are completely yellow eyeballs.
Okay.
All of the
My other character.
are slightly elongate. It's a very gangly.
I'm assuming it's doppelganger.
Yeah. Shapeshifter.
I'm gonna sort of say Self.
And Rolf is in like dismay. Rolf is like, "What on earth?"
I don't think that's the prince.
No, I've seen him asleep many times. He doesn't look like that.
Is it worth like getting some manacles or tying this guy up or something?
I think so. To sneak into the guards.
I go.
And he says that out loud. The guards run, and they're in this area, which you've never seen guards in before.
Okay, so, how many guards are there?
There are 2 of the guards, the same kind of guards that kicked Jax's ass.
Okay.
Is Carlos in the lot at all by any chance?
Same raiment though.
Okay.
Can I ask the DM a question?
You can.
Shapeshifters, the doppelgangers to be precise. If we tied them up, could they just shapeshift into another shape that would mean they would be untied? Hence, like a mouse.
Make a check then. You want to know if this thing is gelatinous or some sort.
Yeah. Make themselves big or small.
So, while the guards are up in the room, can I ask to take one of them down to the room where we found him?
Mm-hmm.
And so you might want some to cover this room in case there's more.
Mm-hmm.
19.
You know that they can change. Now that you kind of identified this type of thing, you get the insight that they can change to a small humanoid as well. They can
So there's no point in putting him in handcuffs or tying him up because he can just make himself small and then fall out of it, whatever it is. So we need to.
Well, we've got about 20 seconds before he wakes up again. I can make sure he sort of stays asleep. You know, he's gonna crack his knuckles.
Carl says we need to ask what on earth he's doing here.
Well,
Jax, he says, Charles says, Jax, you're a strong chap. Would you just hold him?
well, I was going to suggest, have you got a room that's like sort of out of the way and like with only one exit? I mean, do you have a sort of a jail or anything like that in the
Or
tower?
a safe room.
There are cells across the way in the tower here.
Is there anything in here that we, basically somewhere we can restrain him and isolate him? And it's a bit obvious if he turns into the prince and says, "Let me out," or anyone else.
Yeah, there's a room that they show you too.
You
It's
know,
a small bed chamber.
is his soul through?
Thulf nods.
Okay. And yeah, I'm going to tie him up anyway. Because even if he does sort of change, he's going to have to change. That's going to take time and stuff. And then yes, I'm going to sling him over my shoulder and carry him downstairs, and sort of we'll close him in the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we all going into this room, or is it just going to be Jackson?
Well, downstairs with guards.
Yeah, there are guards up around the trap.
I'm going to go with Jackson. Is Charles going to come with us?
They go, do you think we should replace the stone or what?
No, I think we would lose.
And just watch it?
Oh no, like put it back, but don't fix it down.
Oh, all right. Very
And
well.
just keep an eye, because there might be more than one.
What do we want to know from this thing? Because if he's been reading minds off of people, then like we don't want to put a lot of minds in the room.
Ah, good thinking. Good thinking.
So if we just make a list, you and Gillian and Charlie make a list of stuff that I need answers to.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to know the answers. And if I go in there with the list, he's going to have to provide the answers himself. Or go, I don't know. And then I can sort of, twist his arm a bit and see if he'll sort of remember more.
I like this plan.
Okay.
I like the plan. Plan's good.
So you start working on a set of answers while the door is barred to Thulf's room.
Oh, I'm not leaving him alone in a room. I'm going in the room with him.
You're standing in the room with him, and the creature comes to, and
I'll have that back, and I'll take the app back.
It changes into a ragamuffin small child, into the king, into a guard, trying to find the right shape that he thinks will fool Jax now, but realizes that the game's up.
Mm-hmm.
And resumes, and then just changes into Jax. So I suppose this is it.
Well, you can answer some questions now. Like, what are you doing? Where is the prince? Just off the edge.
I don't know where the prince is.
One of my questions that I slip under the door is, how did you get into the castle?
Through the tunnel.
What tunnel?
The ones that run underneath the city. You've been in them.
Why did you get in this? Why did you want to be the prince?
I didn't want to be the prince. I wanted to be someone who would go unnoticed, wouldn't be questioned.
And you figured the prince would be the best person to do that as?
Yeah, no one asks royalty questions. They do what they like, go anywhere they want.
Can you read my mind?
Yeah. What's Jack thinking?
Jax is thinking, am I actually going to have to start beating the snot out of this guy, to get sort of some useful information from him?
He goes, Make an intimidation. You're intimidating him with your thoughts. I like this. This is Jack using a bit of like reverse like proper psychology. I love it.
Well, an 18 and a 14, so 20.
He cowers at the images that you're conjuring up in your mind of gradually breaking his wrist. Not a quick one, but slowly bending the arm back on itself, giving him sort of the most extreme jazz hands you've ever seen. And he does not like this prospect. Yes.
Oh, you killed Killian again.
It has to happen at least once a game.
It just reminds me of that scene with Deadpool. And he keeps punching Colossus.
And she's actually in the room. Or he, because it's in your form. He says, well, there are people that think that the king is alive.
Yeah.
No, he's alive. They think the prince is the one that put him to sleep.
He's asleep?
From what we've gathered, yes.
So is we.
Loyal servants that I am in their employ.
I'm listening at the door, so I slip another bit of paper under the door, saying, what do you know about the king?
I know very little about the king. I've just been sent to try and find any notes, any information relating to the king here that the prince might have kept. Came through the tunnels, came up through the trap. That's when you found me.
Pass another bit of paper under. Where are you from?
Northern South.
Sent by who?
Sent by. Another bit of paper sent by who?
They don't have a name. They don't have a group name or anything. They just
What do they look like?
My talents, and he changes into Serial, Killian.
What do they look like?
Prince.
What do they look like?
Human.
I'm going to sort of gesture. What do they look like?
This is like the knights. What we see
here. Sorry, you've been like sort of 30 different people so far in the last 10 minutes.
He changes into one of the guys with the like Carleth.
Okay, a Royal Guardian person, and it's not one I recognise.
It's Carleth.
Okay. And you don't know that? You don't know the name?
I am a simple creature. I just don't like to be seen, really. Just hire out my skills. Thought I could retire on the money they were going to pay me. Quiet life.
Ask a bit of paper underneath the table. How much were they going to pay you?
Enough to retire
on. When he like reverted back to his sort of bluey form, was he naked?
The clothes seem to change alongside.
Okay.
We're talking like mystique sort of kind of ability to.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering if you know, if he actually had pockets and things like that I could sort of turn out, like real pockets rather than illusion whatever
You
pockets.
see the blue naked form, basically.
Okay. Okay. I think you and us need to go and have a chat with your employer.
Okay.
Where are they found?
I can show you in the tunnels.
Okay. Can I suggest something sort of, you know, slightly more subtle, like view-wise? I'm gonna think of Gunther, you know, generic-y person wandering around.
Oh, what for him to change to?
Yeah.
He changes to what appears to be like a cart, like a vendor of something.
Okay.
Street vendor, humanoid looking.
Okay, and just looking around this room, there is no other exits from this room.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna open the door a sort of yay much.
Mm.
And be like, so Serial and Killian are both on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm
And Charles.
assuming Ulf and the guards.
Yeah, they're all like that. All waiting adults.
I think we need him to take us to his employer. Yeah.
Take me to your leader.
He leads back downstairs to the trap that leads down into the ice. He used to head north back towards the town proper.
Okay.
This is the way I know to get to where they meet.
Okay.
We're
all following him.
I am, you know, I'm almost doing that sort of, you know, Frogmart, you know, I'm not, he's going to be in hand all the way sort of thing.
Yeah. You each of you climb down a small ladder that exists and your feet touch the ground. There's stone for a short while and then cold, bare ice. And you are inside the ice bridge of that leads between the two continents, heading back towards the town proper. And that is where we shall end today's.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was fun. I like this.